Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV. The other day, Valve announced that you can now install SteamOS directly from them on a compatible PC. And at this point, compatible means an AMD GPU. And I've got a Forum PC that came in a little while ago that I haven't gotten around to reviewing just yet. And I thought this would be a great candidate to try and get this to work. So we're going to download SteamOS and see if we can turn this thing into a Steam machine. And this one is a Forum AI X1 Pro 370. It has a Ryzen AI 9 HX 370 processor on board, and it also has an Oculink output, so we can even try hooking up an external AMD-based GPU to this to see what happens. And this is a very AMD-heavy process at the moment because SteamOS is not yet optimized for NVIDIA GPUs. They said that functionality is coming later in the year, or maybe next year. So at the moment, if you've got an AMD PC laying around, this might be a fun project to do. And so that is what I'm going to do to see what happens here with this computer. And of course, this machine costs more than the Steam machine does at the moment. But if you do have some AMD hardware laying around, this might be a fun project. Now, I do want to let you know, in the interest of full disclosure, that the PC here came in free of charge from Forum. However, they did not review or approve what you're about to see before it was uploaded. No other compensation was received, and all opinions are my own. So let's get into it now and see if we can get SteamOS booted up on this PC. Now, to get this up and running, you just have to head over to the SteamOS installation and repair page here. I'll put a link to this in the video description. And as you scroll down here, they'll give you a step-by-step guide for prepping the boot image that you need to set up on an external drive, and then you'll boot your computer up with that. I have already set this drive up, so we will be able to take this from the boot phase. One thing that I noticed on this computer, at least, is that I had to disable secure boot in the BIOS in order to boot off of this, but after that, you should be good to go. So why don't we fire this thing up here, and let's see what we get. All right, so the system booted up to this desktop screen here, and I've got a couple of options here at the top. Now, some of these involve repairing the OS, but of course, we're not going to repair an OS. We want to install one. So here we have the option to wipe device and install SteamOS. And that's an important thing to know here. You have to wipe out the drive that you are installing it on. And I will note here, when you do this, it's going to wipe out the main boot drive. Even if you put another drive in, like I did on this machine, it goes right to the first boot drive, in this case, wiping out the Windows disk. Right now, it does not give you an option as to which drive you install it on when you click that button. So I'm sure there's some command line thing you can run to direct it to the right drive. But right now, it is going to wipe out your main system drive no matter what it is, no matter what else is in your computer. So be sure to prepare accordingly here. It will wipe out your system and start from scratch. All right, it rebooted, and now we're going into the SteamOS here. And it's directing me to plug in a keyboard and mouse, which I have done. It's also giving us some instructions on plugging in game controllers. And we can go through the welcome process here. So it looks like we have SteamOS installed. It actually installed very quickly. I think it took all of like 25 or 30 seconds to get this thing wiped and installed. And that is quite the contrast from Windows 11, of course, which has become quite bloated. So we may actually squeeze a little bit more performance out of this thing, perhaps, than we might otherwise on Windows. So what happened here after I picked my network is it did do another short installation. I think it may have downloaded an update. And now we're going back into the OS. You heard the speaker go off there. And once again, we're being reminded to plug in our game controller, which I've done, and our keyboard. Now we've got some screen scaling here to adjust. I'm going to leave that as is. And it's now going to have us pick our audio device. So I guess I'll go with the external device because we are hooked up to HDMI right now. So I'll click next on that. And now we're ready to log into my Steam account already. So let's have a look at this. This installation process so far has been super easy, a lot simpler than I thought it would be. But let's see if we have any pitfalls as we work our way through here. All right, so we are on step one here now of the post-login process, which is to press any key or button to continue. And it's going through some just basic setup types of things here. So we'll go ahead and have some fun. And look at that, we are in here already, and this is very much like the experience we'd have on a Steam Deck. And of course, the summer sale is going on right now, so we can pick up some new games. So I'm going to push the equivalent of the Xbox button here to pull up the settings. And what I'm going to do is navigate down to settings and go to display, because I want to make sure that my 4K display here is detected properly. So I'm going to turn the automatically set resolution off, and I'm going to force it to 3840 by 2160 just to get that 4K resolution. You saw my capture board get a little flaky there. And we're going to keep settings, and here we are. We are at 4K, which is great. And we have the maximum game resolution set to that as well. This machine won't be able to run a lot of games in 4K, but it's nice to have the ability to get some of the older games that can up to that level. So I guess the next step here would be to download a game and see how it performs. So why don't we do that and see what we get. Now this mini PC is equipped with a 2.5 gigabit per second Ethernet connection, and it looks as though we're taking full advantage of that during this download, so that is good to see. And we'll let this game finish up and we'll see how it performs. Well, I have to say, so far this has been very encouraging. This entire installation process was maybe 10 minutes, and that includes the time I was waiting to download the game. Everything just booted up here. The game seems to be performing quite well. This is running currently at 1080p, and I did have to look up how to get the side panel pulled up. On your Steam Deck, you usually have a button for that. On this controller, I don't. So if you hold down your Xbox button and hit the A button or equivalent, you will get your performance overlay that you can apply here. So I'm going to go to the 4-level one here just for the heck of it, just so we can monitor everything. And I'm going to back out of that now. And now we're back here. So it looks like we're getting about 60 frames per second here, which is great. So what I think we might be able to do is squeeze a little more resolution out of this. So why don't we go into the settings on the game here. We'll go to options, and we will pursue some better resolution or maybe some better graphical fidelity. So I'm going to crank this up to 4K and see what we can get out of this hardware. This might be pushing it, but let's see what happens. So we've applied that, and now we're at 4K, and we are definitely running under 60 frames per second. It looks like now I'm getting about 20 frames per second. So 4K is probably not doable, but that was to be expected. So we will jump back here to 1080p. All right, I turned back to 1080p, and then I bumped up the graphical fidelity a little bit. So on No Man's Sky here, I went from standard to enhanced. And if we jump out here, we can see how that is working, and we're getting about 50-ish frames per second, 55 or so here on the ground with some of this complexity here. So this is performing similar to where I would expect this particular processor to perform with this game. But the good news here is that it looks like all of the GPU drivers are loading up. The game looks great. It seems to be performing about where this hardware should perform. And altogether, this has been, so far, a very good experience. And we've got more stuff to check out, so why don't we run a quick benchmark now. All right, so here we've got the Cyberpunk 2077 benchmark running. I've got the game running at 1080p at the lowest settings, and what I'm seeing here is pretty much what I see on this hardware when we're running on the Windows side, maybe a little bit faster. So it looks like we really are not seeing any performance issues here at all. The drivers seem to be in good shape, and this benchmark does run a bit faster after it goes out of the bar scene and into the outdoor scene here. So you'll see that frame rate bumping up beyond 60 a little bit, unless we're capped there. Maybe we are. But you can see we're getting a solid 60 right now outdoors, and it is working as expected here. So no issues that I can see performance-wise here. And of course, the installation was super easy if you don't mind getting your system wiped out when you first get everything installed. All right, next up, let's see how we can turn this PC into an emulation powerhouse. We're going to try to get Emudeck working. If you're not familiar with Emudeck, it runs on the Steam Deck typically, and it gets emulators set up for just about every console you can imagine, and it's all seamless and pre-configured. It is great. So let's see if we can get it working here on the desktop with SteamOS. So I'm going to go into our menu here and go down to Power, because we do need to go into desktop mode initially to get this set up. And I haven't yet switched over to desktop, so let's see what that desktop transition looks like. This looks very similar to what we get on the Steam Deck side, and now we should see a desktop interface. And from here, we need to get a browser installed, and then we can head over to the Emudeck website. So let me get that browser going, and then we'll head over. All right, so we are in desktop mode now, and we are going to head over to emudeck.com and click on Download. And what we'll do is select the SteamOS option here and download that for free. And if I remember correctly, what I have to do is grab this file and drag it onto the desktop, which I will do here. So we'll just move it there. And then I believe I just click on it twice to run it, and it will start the program called install Emudeck. I'll get the browser out of the way here so you can see what it's up to. And we'll say continue. And this will get the scripts running here to get all of the Emudeck functionality working here. I'm just going to do this in easy mode. You could customize this, which we could do in the future. I'm going to have it go to internal storage at this point, but of course we could add additional storage later. And we'll just say that we're on a Steam Deck. And our level of integration, we'll start with, actually I'll go to highest and do the Steam ROM Manager. And that might be a way that we can get some of our Steam or Emudeck games to show up on our Steam desktop here. And there you go. So it is in the process of installing. And when this is done, I'll let you know how it does. All right, we are done, and it looks as though everything is installed here. We've got check marks next to all of this stuff. And what I'm going to do is copy a PS2 game onto the system now. There are some great Emudeck tutorials out there to get it all up and running. I really want to focus on the OS and what it can run in this video, but this is a really easy process. And it's kind of fun that so far this experience has been identical to that of the Steam Deck. So let's get that game on here and let's see what happens. Now I like to use Emulation Station for my emulators here, so I'm going to jump into that. And I did install Burnout Revenge here a little while ago, so why don't we get the game loaded up here and we'll see what happens. But so far so good. It looks like it's going to full screen here. I did set up the emulator to run at 1080p, so we should get some decent resolution out of this as well. And this game does require a little bit of setup, so let me get that going and we'll see how it performs. All right, so here we go. We've got Burnout Revenge running here at 1080p. It looks great. We are getting a solid 60 frames per second here as well, no slowdown, so all is good here running PS2, and of course many other systems will perform equally nicely here. And one option you do have with Emudeck is to get these games inserted directly into your Steam interface. So if you didn't want to jump into Emulation Station first, you could just pick them right off of the list there. I do like to use Emulation Station just because I have so many games in my library. I just want to keep all the old retro stuff in one place, so that's what I go with here. But yeah, this is working great. And what I love about Emudeck is that it configures your controllers automatically, so it's a very quick process to get these games running on here. And as you can see, they're performing quite well. Let's take a look at something else. All right, one last thing to check out, and that is eGPU performance. This is a GMK-Tech eGPU that came in free of charge from them a little while back. This is powered by an RX 7600M XT. I plugged this into the Oculink port that this PC has on the back, and it worked seamlessly. I didn't have to configure anything. SteamOS detected it immediately and just booted right up. I did try to get it to work in the Thunderbolt mode, and it did not detect it. But some folks online have had success with Thunderbolt GPUs on USB 4 equipped PCs with SteamOS, so maybe it's just something I haven't been able to get working here. There might be some additional configuration, but on the Oculink side, because it's connected directly to the bus, it all just comes up right away. And right now, what we're doing is running No Man's Sky with the enhanced settings, which is one notch up from the base settings here. Let me show you what I've got for graphics here. And we're getting a solid 60 frames per second most of the time here with that enhanced option. Before we were getting about, I think, 45-ish or so on the 1080p settings with the internal GPU. So here we're able to bump up the settings a notch and get 4K. And as you can see here, it is running exceptionally well with the eGPU. And this is about what I saw with this eGPU when I was running Windows with it. So this is really cool stuff here. This is a killer rig. And what I love about it is that when it boots up, it goes right into the Steam lean back interface. So I've got something that works on my TV. I can boot up all my games, all my emulators. So this is essentially a Steam machine that you can build on your own. So for the most part here, it appears as though Valve has just made their operating system available to anyone who's got AMD graphics hardware to run. And as you saw here, this was a very simple process to get up and running, at least on some modern AMD-based devices. What I might do is go back into my back catalog of computers here and try to boot this up on an older Ryzen-based machine and see what the experience is there. But I think this is a really good solution if you've got a Ryzen-based device, or at least AMD graphics hooked up via a GPU. You've got yourself now a really good consoleized PC that can be configured with essentially one click. And I was really impressed with how quick that process was. Just remember, it's going to wipe out your main hard drive when you do it. So you may want to pull that Windows hard drive out and put in another one that you can erase. So there you go. Good stuff here from Valve, free of charge. Check it out if you're looking for something like this. And I'm really excited to see what's going to happen next with SteamOS, especially as they bring NVIDIA support online. And that will make this really a killer application. That will do it for this one. Until next time, this is Lon.TV. Thanks for watching.